Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing and giving this a big thumbs up. Today we're going to be making some cats headbands to match these costumes. I've got two to make, but in this video we're just going to make this one. So it is a yellow or gold and a dark grey colour. So I've got this hair. I need a headband because the dancer's hair is brown, so I've got it in brown. I've got some of these clips, which I think are wig clips or hair extension clips. And we're just going to put those on the inside of the headband so that this doesn't fall off the dancer's head. So first thing I need to do is to cut some of this hair off. So I'm just going to trim it down here. I only need a small amount, so we're just going to trim off a little bit more than we need. Really doesn't take much. So this hair is what you would use to put sort of hair extensions in. I got this from eBay. So we've done the gold colour. I'm just going to cut off a small amount of grey too. So now we've got the hair cut, we're just going to use the picture for reference. We need the headband, we need a glue gun, we need a small piece of this hair, and we need a scrap box. There's going to be hair everywhere for this one. So we need to just trim down that hair so that it is a flat surface to glue onto. You want it as flat as you can. And then just take some hot glue, not using too much because it'll show on the headband, but we glue around the edges and then in the middle, trying to touch as much of that hair as possible. And then you find the center top of the headband and stick the first piece on, and we're going to work outwardly from the center piece. So we just hold that hair on in place, sort of making sure it lays flat until the glue has gone solid or cooled down. So now that that piece is glued down, we're going to work on the rest of the hair, alternating the colours, mixing it up a little bit, making whichever pattern you need to match your costume. This one's just random all over. So we trim off that piece so there's a flat edge again and glue it down, and we're just going to continue to do that all the way around the headband. So here we have a finished piece with all the hair stuck on.
All of these on.
As you can see, I've done
all
the whole headband. There's a lot of hair there.
Stuck them all on.
But I've also done a piece that
I've also
sticks up.
layered a front part
this
here,
fringe
which is going
part,
to be the fringe.
And I've done that in layers. Now what you do is when you are gluing on the hair for these pieces, you hold it in place until the glue dries. So you hold it at an angle, and I've done about 4 different layers there, and you just hold it at an angle as the glue dries.
So now what I need to do,
and it should stay up in place. It just creates another dimension to it.
So what I need to do next
is create sort of like a fringe part that sticks forward.
Shape it. So I'll get a brush and brush it out.
So once you've done all this, we need to comb it all out. So you need to lay it on a flat surface. I just got this small comb and some gel spray.
And what
we're going to do first is just comb it all the way round. And there'll be lots of loose hairs that the glue hasn't caught. And you just need to brush it all out so it's straight and smooth, so we know what we're working with. Because the next step is going to be to cut it into shape. So we just need to make sure all the loose hairs are out and all the hair is straight and ready to be prepared. So next you need to get these little ties, and we are going to make the ears. They need to be behind that fringe sort of part, just behind it. So you need to grab a section of hair and just tie it off with one of these small hair elastics. And what we do is we grab the hair, don't pull it too tight, tie it off with the elastic quite far down the hair, and then shape it into sort of a little ear shape. If you're not happy with it at this stage, just undo it and do it again. But then you need to match it and do the same on the other side. Try and get it even. Just grab that piece of hair and tie that one off. And try and do the same as what you did on the other side and just shape it into a little ear. So pulling out the sides kind of gives it that shape. And what I'm doing there, stretching the headband, is when the headband stretches open, it changes the shape. So every now and again, just stretch the headband open, or even put it on your head and just make sure they're in the right place. I wasn't happy with how the hair sort of stuck out on one side of these ears. So I decided to just redo this side just here. The hair was sticking up a little bit too much, it hadn't caught properly. I was just holding it up there to see if it looked okay. But decided to just redo that little bit because the hair wasn't sort of sitting right. So just take your time in this. I've sped it up a little bit here, but just take your time with it. Make sure it looks how you want it to look before we start cutting it down into pieces. So when you're happy with how it looks, we need to get the gel spray and just give it a good spray. Once you've combed it out to how you want it, give it a nice even layer with the gel spray. You can use hairspray on this, it doesn't really matter. Gel spray is just what I had to hand. My daughter's a dancer and this is what we use in her hair. And then once you've used the gel spray, just give it another comb through and lay it how you want it to lay. So if some little pieces need to be spread out a little bit more than others, just make sure it's how you want it to sit. But bear in mind that this is long hair at the minute. It's not going to stay like this and we are going to cut it. So concentrate on the pieces that are closest to the headband. And then what we're going to do is give it a shape. Now, there's lots of reference photos online on Google for these headbands or for the actual costumes that are worn in the show. So what you need to do, I keep opening the headband there just to make sure the shape's going right. So use a reference photo and just cut it to the shape that you want. These ear parts are quite tricky because they're quite a thick piece of hair, but I usually cut them in sort of a V shape. And then the top bit needs to be shorter. But just trim it off little by little because you can always cut more. But once it's gone, you can't replace it. You can do this using a tape measure if you want to be more precise. But just try and get both sides to be even. It's a little hard to see sometimes as well if the pattern of the hair isn't the same on both sides. If you've done a random pattern like I have. And again, brushing the hair through will make sure that there's no bits folded underneath at the back too. So you do cut all the hair down. So I'm just checking it looks okay. Making sure the shape looks all right. And then trimming it down further. Don't be scared to cut on this. Like I say, take your time. Do it little bit by little bit. Giving it a real good trim here. And there's going to be loads and loads of hair everywhere too. So be prepared for the mess. Clear up as much as you can so that it doesn't overwhelm you. It does with me. And then you can get the hoover out. And what I'm doing here is I'm chopping into the hair so you can't see that it's a straight cut. Just clear up as much as that hair if you can. If it looks too straight and too neat, just keep chopping into it. Don't be scared. Just gel spraying the back there because it keeps flopping down. There's some longer pieces there that have been missed. And just keep chopping into it. So you can't see such a straight line. I mean, if you like the straight line look, that's fine, you don't have to. But if you keep chopping into just the little edges, taking just a little bit off at a time, it'll make it look not so neat. If you can see, I'm just doing little tiny chops, but I've done it from the front and from the back, so it's at different angles. And just don't be scared to chop into it. We have got a lot more to go. You can make it a lot shorter. Keep trying it on if you can. If it's for you, keep trying it on and seeing what you think, how you feel with it being on your head. And keep cleaning up the mess. Otherwise, you'll be really overwhelmed with the amount of mess on the table. And you need to keep laying this down and brushing it out and trimming at it. I decided on this one it needed to be shorter. I'm just checking there that both sides are the same width. And that's all we need to do. Just keep going until you get your desired shape and look, and just keep checking. And we're just going again there. But like I say, cut a little bit off, then you can always cut more off. And just keep checking it. So when you have cut off all the hair you want to cut off and you've got your desired look, what you need to do is get your gel spray or your hairspray, whatever you're using to sort of stiffen the look, and put a generous amount on the front and the back. Give it another comb through if you want to. Just make sure everything's as you want it to be, because this is how the final one is going to look. And there we have it. This is the finished product for this costume. I will put the name of what the hair is called in the description. You can get it from Amazon or eBay or any sort of beauty place, I would have thought, wherever you can buy this fake hair from. And I'll put some of the links in there as well to some helpful pieces. But if you've enjoyed watching this video, please consider subscribing if you're not already, and give me a big thumbs up, because it does help the channel a lot. Leave a comment if you need to. I've also got a Facebook group, which I'll put the link to in the description, and I hope to see you over there. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.